Now on to a new Israeli political thriller for us to preview here today and give you a behind-the-scenes look at. Down the River tells the story of Netta Tezazo, an Ethiopian Israeli Mossad officer with a mysterious past. The writer and director of the film, Daniel Jacobson, joins me in studio now to tell us more about it. Now, Dan, I didn't want to give too much away in the intro there, so I will leave that to you to do. Tell us a little bit more about the film.
Okay, so the film is the story of Netta Tezazo, who's an Ethiopian-Israeli Mossad agent, and she's sent on a mission to Darfur to intercede on behalf of Colonel Musa Issa Musa, a Sudanese warlord with past Mossad connections. But it's not all what it seems, because the mission appears disorganized from the start, something that Musa picks up on, and essentially it just unravels and we're trying to see who's playing who.
Now let's talk about who's playing who in the actual film, because the casting to this film was quite interesting, I hear.
It was quite a process in real life too. So this film took 4 years to make, despite it being a short film, and it was actually originally built around the cast. So the idea didn't exist until I had actually met Hamis and Kheli, the two lead actors, and I had seen some of the work they'd been doing previously, and I felt like their talents were underserved. And when you're doing short films, the hardest thing in the world is to cast good actors, because you don't have a lot to incentivize them with. So the best thing I could do was write them the parts they wanted to play. So while we were working on a separate project, I remember we would drive to the set, and I would simply ask them, like, what do you want to do? And Hamis, the first thing he said was, I don't want to be a refugee, I want to be a bad guy.
Wow.
So
now a lot of these people, the people that you've used in your in the movie, actually are refugees.
About 4 of them, yeah.
In real life, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this must be really important for the South, like these are South Tel Avivians, I can imagine, and the African community here faces quite a bit of adversity. So how important was this to them to be involved in something so special?
I mean, I don't want to give myself too much credit, because, I mean, someone like Hamis was already established before I came around. But for some of the other actors, I mean, for them it was the first time where they really got a part that was kind of tailored to them. I wrote it with them. I asked them questions. There were occasionally parts where the movie gets violent, and I actually had a scene where one of my actors had been tortured by Bedouin captors in the Sinai. And he had to torture someone else in the scene. And I'd originally cast him for a different part, and we switched it, and I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
So there was an awkward moment where I have to come up to him, and, you know, up until the day we shoot it, you know, you don't really, like, someone will tell you how they're going to react, but, you know, there are definitely things morally where I felt like I might be putting people in positions that it's not okay, and then I might be taking advantage of them. So I did whatever I could to talk to them, but the reality is,
fine line between doing a job and then playing with emotions.
if you're trying to tell something real and dark, you know, people actually have to do it. Like it's one thing to write it, it's another thing to ask someone to do it, especially someone who's been through something actually worse.
I know, I can imagine that would be a tough situation. Now, we do have a small clip of the movie to show our audience, but before we show it, I want you to just explain the scene that we're about to watch.
Okay, so what you're gonna see is basically the scene is built around, the whole movie is built around basically a 15-minute scene between the two main characters, where they're trying to figure out each other's intentions and kind of who knows what. And the entire scene is basically subtext, where neither one's really saying what like the words they're saying aren't the point they're trying to get across. And this is probably the one point where they cut through all that, and she starts speaking to him directly and asking him exactly what you want and what I'm here for, and he counters her.
Okay, let's take a look.
All right.
זה מאוד פשוט. אתה רוצה להיכנס לפוליטיקה, נכון? עכשיו, בשביל להיכנס לפוליטיקה, אתה צריך את הרשות של חסן א-שייח. הבעיה שחסן א-שייח לעולם לא ייתן את ברכתו למוסה איסה מוסה. ובגלל זה אתה, מוסה איסה מוסה, צריך להרוג את חסן א-שייח. בשביל לעשות את זה אתה צריך אותי. וכנראה הבעיה היא שאתה חושב שאני לא מספיק שחורה בשביל לעבור איתך את הדלת מבלי שיראו בך למוות. אתה מפחד? אתה מפחד. אתה רוצה לשלוח את מני במקומך, את חיימנית.
אם התוכנית היא לראות לאיש זקן בראש, באמא שלי אין יותר מוצלח מזה מאשר מני. אבל אז, אולי יש משהו נוסף. משהו שאת לא אומרת.
מוסה, אל תחשוב דברים מטורפים, אני לא פה כדי להזיק לך, אני באתי לעזור לך.
היית צריכה להפסיק להתעקש עד עכשיו. הסיפור שלך נחשף.
מה?
Well, Dan, that certainly looks impressive. In fact, you're going to be in 3 film festivals this year.
As of now, 3. We're hoping for more. So the big one for us is Oaxaca Film Festival. That's in Mexico, in Oaxaca. We'll be down there from October 4th to 10th. We're in a new industry selection. It's a section for developing shorts into feature films and TV series. We'll also be in the Lancaster International Short Film Festival on October 11th and the Calcutta International Cult Film Festival in Calcutta, India in January 2020.
Amazing, and I wish you the best of luck in those festivals. And it was such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you. Such a pleasure to be here. I really appreciate it.
Dan Jacobson, thank you for your time.
Thank you.